Hello and welcome. Get ready to tackle 30 engaging questions designed to challenge you. What does Ctrl+C do in Windows? Copies the selected item. Opens settings. Closes the window. The correct answer is, copies the selected item. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+C is the shortcut to copy text or files. What does Ctrl+V do? Pastes the copied item. Saves the file. Selects all. The correct answer is, pastes the copied item. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+V pastes whatever was last copied. What is the shortcut for undo? Ctrl+Z. Ctrl+D. Ctrl+T. The correct answer is, Ctrl+Z. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+Z undoes the last action performed. Which key combination opens Task Manager? Ctrl+Shift+Escape. Alt+Tab. Ctrl+W. The correct answer is, Ctrl+Shift+Escape. Here's an interesting fact, this shortcut opens the Task Manager to check running apps and processes. What does Ctrl+X do? Cuts the selected item. Saves the file. Opens a tab. The correct answer is, cuts the selected item. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+X cuts text or files, ready to be moved elsewhere. How do you select all items in a window or text file? Ctrl+A. Ctrl+C. Ctrl+V. The correct answer is, Ctrl+A. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+A selects everything in the active window or document. What does Alt+Tab do? Switches between open apps. Opens a new file. Deletes the folder. The correct answer is, switches between open apps. Here's an interesting fact, Alt+Tab quickly swaps between open programs. What does Windows key plus D do? Shows the desktop. Saves the file. Opens a folder. The correct answer is, shows the desktop. Here's an interesting fact, Windows plus D minimizes all windows to show the desktop. What does Ctrl+S do? Saves the current file. Shuts down the PC. Selects all. The correct answer is, saves the current file. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+S is commonly used to save files in many programs. What is the shortcut to lock your PC? Windows plus L. Ctrl plus L. Alt plus F4. The correct answer is Windows plus L. Here's an interesting fact. Windows plus L quickly locks your computer. What shortcut opens the Run dialog box? Windows plus R. Windows plus W. Ctrl plus R. The correct answer is Windows plus R. Here's an interesting fact. Windows plus R opens the Run command window. What does Alt plus F4 do? Closes the current window. Saves the file. Refreshes the page. The correct answer is closes the current window. Here's an interesting fact. Alt plus F4 is used to close the currently active window. What is the shortcut to refresh a window or web page? F5. F2. Ctrl plus R. The correct answer is F5. Here's an interesting fact. Pressing F5 refreshes the current page or window. Which key renames a selected item? F2. F5. F1. The correct answer is F2. Here's an interesting fact. F2 allows you to rename a file or folder. What opens the Windows File Explorer? Windows plus E. Windows plus F. Ctrl plus E. The correct answer is Windows plus E. Here's an interesting fact. Windows plus E opens the File Explorer window. What is the shortcut for print? Ctrl plus P. Ctrl plus V. Alt plus P. The correct answer is Ctrl plus P. Here's an interesting fact. Ctrl plus P is used to print a document or web page. What is the function of Ctrl plus T in browsers? Opens a new tab. Closes the browser. Opens Task Manager. The correct answer is opens a new tab. Here's an interesting fact. Ctrl plus T opens a new browser tab. What does Ctrl plus N do in many programs? Opens a new window. Closes the program. Undoes the last action. The correct answer is opens a new window. Here's an interesting fact. Ctrl plus N creates a new window or document. What key opens the Start menu? Windows key. Control key. Alt key. The correct answer is Windows key. Here's an interesting fact. Tapping the Windows key opens the Start menu. What does Ctrl plus Shift plus N do in File Explorer? Creates a new folder. Renames file. Sends to recycle bin. The correct answer is, creates a new folder. Here's an interesting fact, this shortcut creates a new folder instantly. What is the shortcut for screenshot of full screen? Print screen. Ctrl+P. Shift+S. The correct answer is, print screen. Here's an interesting fact, pressing print screen captures a screenshot of the entire screen. What does Ctrl+Shift+Escape directly open? Task Manager. Desktop. Recycle bin. The correct answer is, Task Manager. Here's an interesting fact, it opens Task Manager without using Ctrl+Alt+Delete. What does Ctrl+D do in browsers? Bookmarks the page. Deletes the item. Duplicates the tab. The correct answer is, bookmarks the page. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+D saves the current page to bookmarks. What is the function of Ctrl+F? Finds text on a page. Freezes screen. Forwards the email. The correct answer is, finds text on a page. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+F opens a search bar to find words or phrases. What does Windows+L do? Locks the screen. Logs off network. Launches the web browser. The correct answer is, locks the screen. Here's an interesting fact, this shortcut locks your PC instantly. What does Ctrl+P do? Prints the current page. Pauses the music. Previews the layout. The correct answer is, prints the current page. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+P brings up the print dialog. What is Ctrl+W used for? Closes the current tab. Writes a note. Saves the screen. The correct answer is, closes the current tab. Here's an interesting fact, Ctrl+W is often used in browsers to close the current tab. Which shortcut opens the notification center in Windows 10? Windows+A. Windows+D. Ctrl+A. The correct answer is, Windows+A. Here's an interesting fact, Windows+A opens the Action Center. What shortcut shows all virtual desktops in Windows? Windows+Tab. Alt+Tab. Ctrl+Shift+Tab. The correct answer is, Windows+Tab. Here's an interesting fact. Windows plus Tab shows the task view for open desktops. What does ctrl plus H do in browsers? Opens browsing history. Hides the window. Halts downloads. The correct answer is, opens browsing history. Here's an interesting fact. This shortcut opens your browsing history. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and we'll catch you in the next one.